Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
World CBS News, com. November 14, 1923 America, New York, Queen Elizabeth absent from Remembrance Day ceremony. Queen Elizabeth missed the annual Remembrance Day ceremony for only the seventh time. Buckingham Palace said the 95-year-old could not attend after spraining her back. World CBS News, com. November 14, 1916 America, New York, Austria imposes nationwide lockdown on unvaccinated citizens. As COVID cases rise, Austria is strictly limiting activities for unvaccinated residents. The lockdown announcement sparked protests in Vienna. World CBS News, com. November 14, 1909 America, New York, former Japanese princess arrives in New York after forfeiting royal status. Former Japanese Princess Meiko Komuro arrived in New York City after leaving the royal family for a new life with her husband.
BBC News World. November 14, 1906 America, New York, Ethiopia's Tigray conflict. Why the rest of the world is worried. The stability of the Horn of Africa in part rests on a peaceful resolution to Ethiopia's civil war. BBC News World. November 14, 1905 America, New York, why China is still trying to achieve zero COVID. While other countries grapple with living with COVID, China is doubling down on stamping it out. BBC News World. November 14, 1905 America, New York, Joe Biden and Xi Jinping, what they want from talks. The video call on Monday will address several thorny issues, including Taiwan, cybersecurity and trade. BBC News World. November 14, 1904 America, New York, a Nobel Prize-winning economist's guide to cooking. Abhijit Banerjee's irreverent new cookbook draws on both his culinary instincts and his academic insights. BBC News World. November 14, 1904 America, New York, Jair Bolsonaro, guns and rising violence in Brazil. Gun culture was part of Bolsonaro's winning presidential campaign. 3 years on, what's the impact? BBC News World. November 14, 1903 America, New York, the Uyghur woman fighting to keep her culture alive. In London, a restaurant owner aims to preserve traditions which are under threat in China.
New York Times World News. November 14, 1859 America, New York, Japan's economy shrinks, but outlook is warm as virus ebbs. The coronavirus and supply chain issues stymied growth in the third quarter, but high vaccination rates and low numbers of virus cases point to a recovery. The Japanese economy has been stuck in a cycle of expansion and contraction, ebbing and flowing with the virus's waves.
November 14, 1855 America, New York, Call of Duty, Vanguard removes pages of the Quran from the game after critics call it disrespectful. The publisher of the video game Call of Duty, Vanguard, has issued an apology after receiving criticism from Muslim players who noticed pages of the Quran lying on the floor during a gameplay scene. November 14, 1851 America, New York, Opinion, the revolt of the centrists. Democrats ran into strong headwinds on November 2 when Republicans in Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Long Island and many other places came out victorious from the election. November 14, 1841 America, New York, Analysis, Xi's China is closing to the world. And it isn't just about borders. It's been nearly 2 years since China shut its international borders as part of its efforts to keep COVID-19 out.
Mirror World News. November 14, 1750 America, New York, at least 18 high-risk viruses in China market are another pandemic waiting to happen. A study of over a dozen species of game animals traded, sold and eaten as exotic food in China found mammalian viruses including 18 which were deemed potentially high risk.
World CBS News, com. November 14, 1745 America, New York, Austria orders lockdown for unvaccinated residents. The move prohibits unvaccinated people 12 and older from leaving their homes except for basic activities such as working, grocery shopping, going for a walk, or getting vaccinated.
November 14, 1743 America, New York, California just set a new gas price record. California gas prices hit an average of $4.676 Sunday, beating its previous record average price of $4.671 for regular gasoline set in October 2012, according to AAA. November 14, 1742 America, New York, group purchases Trump Hotel in D.C. and is expected to remove Trump name. Representative Gonzalez, the cold hard truth is Donald Trump led us into a ditch on January 6, GOP congressman says threats are not what our democracy is about. November 14, 1703 America, New York, shameful, Acosta reacts to ex-Trump advisor's religion comment. CNN's Jim Acosta and Watergate journalist Carl Bernstein react to former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn calling for one religion in the U.S.
World CBS News, com. November 14, 1658 America, New York. Italian Coast Guard rescues 550 migrants from stormy seas. Authorities say an increasing number of human traffickers are using a route along the southern tip of the Italian peninsula.
November 14, 1636 America, New York. NPR Books editor Petra Mayer dies at 46. NPR Books editor Petra Mayer died Saturday at age 46, NPR reported. Mayer was a popular editor on NPR's Culture Desk, delighting readers and listeners with her outpouring of knowledge of cats, comics and science fiction, as well as her on-site reporting at Comic-Con.
New York Times World News. November 14, 1631 America, New York. Your Monday briefing. A global climate agreement. John Kerry, the U.S. climate envoy, third from right, on Saturday in Glasgow with his counterparts from China and the European Union. RT World News. November 14, 1614 America, New York. NATO must help solve Belarus border crisis, Poland's PM demands. Words are not enough to resolve the refugee crisis on Poland's border with Belarus, Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has said, demanding that NATO take concrete steps to deal with the issue.
November 14, 1533 America, New York. America's 10 most expensive zip codes have median home prices over $4 million. The most expensive areas to live in the U.S. have gotten even more pricey this year as the cost of homes has skyrocketed.
New York Times World News. November 14, 1523 America, New York. Air route to Belarus closed to migrants in bid to halt crisis. Hoping to stem the flow of migrants stuck on the border of Belarus and Poland, Dubai banned Iraqi and Syrian passengers from traveling to Minsk. A group of migrants outside a hotel in Minsk on Sunday